Well, hello and welcome to 10.2 Outliers. Today, when we look at outliers, we are going to identify the measures of central tendency, which is our mean, median, mode, range, which you found yesterday, for a set of data both with and without an outlier. So that's our first objective for today, is being able to find those measures. And then the second part is that you'll be able to identify the effect that the outlier has then on the data. So you're going to be finding the mean, median, mode, range again today, and then you're going to identify what number in the data is an outlier, and you're going to take that out. And then you're going to find the mean, median, mode, range of the data without the outlier, and then see how does that affect? How did the outlier, what effect did it have on that set of data as you look through that a little bit deeper? Okay, you will need your calculator today, and as you go through here, there's going to be a lot of writing down, creating the chart, so you're going to have to pause as you go through to make sure you get everything. All right, so here's our big idea. We have a vocabulary word here today, an outlier, right? So an outlier is a value that is either much less or much greater than the rest of the values in the data. So it's kind of like the one number that sticks out a little bit, whether it's greater or less than where the kind of the middle range of that data is. All right, in our objective, I talked about central tendencies. Well, here's our central tendencies. This is how we measure them right over here. And then this is when we use them. So again, you're going to have to pause this screen there. I do want you to write this whole slide down, and I want you to make this chart of when do you use these different central tendencies. So let's go through this here as you're writing down. When do we use the mean? Well, we use the mean. It's the most useful when we're looking at a data set when there is no outliers. So if our data is pretty close, pretty similar to one another throughout all the numbers, we would use the mean then to describe our data. The median will be most useful when it has an outlier. So if our information has an outlier, we know that the median would be the best measure to use to describe that data. The mode is most useful when we need to know which occurs the most often, right? We know that, mode most. And then the range is our spread of data, right? So that's when we would use each of those, the most appropriate situation to look at all that. All right, so here we go. All right, here's our first example. And this screen here is what you're going to need to write down. On your worksheet tonight, for tonight's homework, it's going to look exactly like this, and you're going to have to fill in the blanks here, which means you're going to have to create that in your notebook. So step number 1, let's go ahead and write down our numbers here. We have 12, 55, 56, 57, 57, 57, 57, 57, so there's 4 of them, 58, 58, 59, and 59. So if we count them up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 numbers. All right, so let's identify what the outlier is. The outlier would be a number that is much greater than or much less than, which in this case would be 12. All right, so here's what we're going to do with this information. We are going to find our 4 measures, our central tendencies, with the outlier in our data, and then we're going to take that 12 out of the data and then find our 4 central tendencies for that, and then look at, okay, what happened? What kind of change took place as we go here? All right, so here we go. Let's start filling in. Again, feel free to pause as we go through. All right, so what is the outlier? The outlier is 12, we know that. So with the outlier, to find the mean, we're going to add up all 11 numbers, and I got 585. And we divide it by the number of numbers, which we said was 11, and we're going to round to the nearest hundredth. So 53.18 will be our mean, including the outlier. Our median is the number that occurs most often, which is our 57 there. Or sorry, that's our mode there. I'm jumping ahead here a little bit. The median, if we go ahead and cross off numbers to the middle, get to that middle, our 57 is our median. And then I just talked about our mode there, what occurs most often. There's our 57. And then our range. So we're going to take the largest number minus the smallest number to get a range of 47. All right, so there's our information that includes the 12 there as our outlier. We're going to solve the middle section now, the middle column, but now we're going to take out that 12. So what does it look like when the 12 is not part of our data? All right. So when we do our math, we take the 12 out. We get 573 there by taking our 12 out of the data. And now instead of 11 numbers, we are now down to 10 numbers, right? Because we took one out. We're down to 10. So we divide that. We get exactly 57.3. When we take the 12 out, the median, when we count again, so pretend like that 12 is out, kind of crossed off, throw it out there. When we count in the middle, 57 is still our median. 57 is still our mode, right? We didn't take any other numbers out. It was only the 12. But now look what happens to our range. Our range still is the highest number is 59, but our smallest number now is 55. So our range is 4. All right, to complete the last column then, we are going to kind of describe or tell how much did it go up, how much did it go down, or did it stay the same? So how did it change when the outlier was taken out? So here we have our mean. We went from 53.18 to a 57.3. So it got higher, right? We added 4.12. So we subtract 57.3 minus 53.18 for a positive 4.12 change. Let's look at our median, and you notice that our median stayed the same with both times, whether that we had the outlier or we didn't. So we would just write no change. Nothing happened. Same thing with the mode, right? Our middle number stayed the same both times, so no change. And then the last part, you notice now this time our number actually went down, so it should be a subtracting or a minus 43, right? 47 minus 4 gave us minus 43. We subtracted 43. All right, so that's what we're doing tonight. We're going to go through one more example, though, that you need to write down, and then you'll be on your own to fill out the tables. All right, so here we have our set of data, and feel free to stop this, write this down, copy this down. So 34, 43, 43, 43, we got a 45, 46, 49, 51, 52, 52, 53, 53, 54, 55, 56. All right, so we're going to do the same thing, same information, filling out each chart. We have an outlier this time of 34. So 34 is kind of close to 43. It's getting there, but compared to all the other data that's in the 40s and 50s, our 34 there is the number that is outside that range there a little bit. So finding the mean with the outlier, add those all up. There's 15 numbers, so you get a 48.6. If we count towards the middle, right, that's already in order, so we just have to count in from the left and right, and 51 was our middle number. The number that occurs most often is our 43. There's 3 of them, right? So that is our mode. And our range then is 56 minus 34, which gives us a range of 22 numbers in our data set, in our range. All right, this time we're going to fill out the middle column, but we're going to take out the 34 to find our 4 central tendencies. All right, so let's take those out here. We're going to take the 34 out. So taking that 34 out, when I add up the other numbers, I get 695. And instead of 15 numbers now, we get 14 numbers for a total of 49.64, and that was only rounded to the nearest hundredth. When we took our 34 out, go ahead and count to the middle. And this time, the middle lies between 51 and 52. So we need to take the average of those two, or what's in half of 51 and 52, which is 51.5. Our mode is the number that occurs most often, and even when we take the 34 out, 43 still has 3 of them, so that's our mode there. And then the range, our highest number is 56, minus the lowest number now is 43, and we get our range of 13. All right, and how did it change when the outlier was taken out? We're going to go ahead and subtract those. So according to our mean, there we went up 1.04, right, with our mean. Our median, we added a 0.5. Our mode, there was no change. And in the range there, we went down 9. All right, so there's going to be lots of writing down, copying down, create the chart, fill in the chart, not only from these notes, but also then from your homework. Okay, so your homework is your 10.2 worksheet. Good luck, you got this.